Hello, my friends. You're welcome to another episode of A Sound Mind with Gloria, and I remain your favorite host, Gloria Odi. If you have ever felt overwhelmed, emotionally drained, or just needed a safe space to breathe and think, you are not alone. I have these conversations every week. If they speak to you, you can subscribe and grow with me. Thank you. So today, we will be exploring a very important topic, the one so many persons feel shy to talk about it, the one that most people wouldn't want others to know that this is the job they are into. You know, there are some jobs that some person might like, oh, are you serious? You do this? And I titled it, The Human Behind the Job. To unravel this package with me, I have a special guest. He is Deacon Lucky Ubong. You're welcome to the show, sir.
It's a pleasure, coming to the show. A lecturer in College of Nursing.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a tutor. And I'm also into business.
Okay.
So those are the things I do outside being a mortician.
All right. So he is a mortician. That's right. You didn't see that coming. You're expecting to hear a banker, a lawyer, an architect, but actually he's a mortician. And he has said, outside being a mortician, he is a lecturer in School of Nursing. And what again?
So I do some little business around.
Okay, he does businesses around in addition to his mortician job. I won't lie to you. The first time I heard you being a mortician, like, I was like, are you serious? And started looking at you one corner eye somehow, you know, because most people consider that kind of a job very strange and it's not openly said. I remember the last time I had a conversation with a mortician. I didn't know he was a mortician at first, but I asked him the job he does, and he told me he does night work. I was like, what is night work? And then he whispered, he lowered his voice and said, he's a mortician. And when I got back home, I told my husband, and we became so careful of the guy. Ignorance, I guess. It's ignorance. So, and I know that you face that sometimes. So, but I want to ask you this question. How did you get yourself involved with this particular job?
Well, I am an anatomist. I studied anatomy in school.
Okay.
And the mortician job, it all started 2012 when I was called by late Professor Fisher, who happened to be my lecturer, to train me on it. So I agreed, and he trained me, and I found the job more interesting.
Okay.
I decided to run with it.
Oh, that's interesting. You study anatomy, so it's easier for you to have connected with the job.
With the job.
I see. And should we call this an act of service?
Yeah.
An act of service, because you must see yourself involved in the job. Because I don't think that job will pay so highly that people want to rush into it, because it has to do with grief and loss. So talking about grief and loss, how do you cope? You know, seeing, dead bodies and then their loved ones, coming, crying, wailing. How do you handle that grief?
Well, first of all, you're there to comfort them. That's the first job you have to do. To make sure they are okay, they're emotionally stable before you do other things. So
how do you comfort them, please?
You get to meet them, tell them not to cry, encourage them that this happened. The reason they should stay alive is for them to stay alive for others. No, because these ones have already gone. So they need to stay alive to comfort others. So with that, and give them reason why they should live.
But don't you think you telling them not to cry will make them suppress emotions?
No, sometimes you allow them to cry.
Yeah, they should cry.
Yes, they should cry.
Yeah, they should cry.
Everything you conceive inside brings out another thing inside.
Exactly.
So you allow them to cry, then you speak with them.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's so educating, I want to ask you this question. At the moment you carry some of those grief back home, like you encounter some, because your work is more emotional than technical. A lot of emotions are involved. So at the moment where you take those emotions back home?
Yes. Because there are some persons you see, some persons or families you see, the way they cry, all right, the attachment to the body that died, the person that died, is, overwhelming. Sometimes you feel for them.
Oh my God.
And you take this thing home.
Oh.
And it starts,
and you keep pondering on them.
Pondering on all the stuff. So
that must be emotionally draining. I know that there's nothing on earth that will make me want to take that kind of a job, because I'm someone who gets emotional easily. Yes. And I'm also working on myself, because I used to be just someone who overthink and can't just get things out of my chest easily. So I wouldn't want to be in such an environment where a lot of grief, losses. So I really salute those persons who are putting in their all, because at the end of the day, you care for the dead, but you are also living who also need to be cared for as well. Yeah. So, all right. Do you think there are measures, or do morticians get support mentally in Nigeria? Do you think so?
Well, out of 100%, 1%.
Oh my God.
So you have to put yourself together, because one, the service is for humanity.
Yeah.
And also to make people know that this is your job. You need to care for them. If you don't do it, no one else will do. So most times the support they give you is once in a while, and all about they will just take care of our persons. And after all, we're paying you.
Oh
they
my
forget
God.
that
you're also human.
You're also human.
Exactly.
Right? And some people talk to you anyhow.
Oh my God.
That's kind of things.
Oh, there's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are there moments where you and your colleagues talk about these things in the office?
Yes, there are moments when we sit down together, we discuss on something, but some things you need to keep it to yourself, because there are some certain things you say that may also get into troubles. So you just keep some things in yourself then, and some things you also discuss, just to ease ourselves some emotional stress.
Okay. So to protect your mind, what are your coping strategies, especially those moments where you just can't get some moments off your chest? What are your coping strategies?
Well, sometimes you just take yourself out. You sit out, like times where they are playing ball, you can go there, watch matches, and while away time, just to keep you out of your job.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, I want to ask you this question again. A moment where you find yourself being emotionally drawn to a particular body, how do you disconnect?
Well,
a particular body, especially sudden death, and you're seeing maybe a body brought in well dressed, maybe the person was well dressed, and then maybe an accident just happened, or a young person, and then you're attached to that particular body. How do you disconnect?
Well, it's very, very difficult, but for the fact that you've seen so many, you've been with so many, you've seen so many cases, both drowned cases, born cases, the young, the old, children. Though me personally, particularly for the children, I can't stand it.
Okay.
I can't stand it.
Okay.
Sometimes I have to tell some of my colleagues, please,
attend to this body.
Attend to this body.
Okay.
Just to keep yourself away from that.
Okay, so you actually protect your peace when it comes to children, because maybe you're emotionally drawn to children, and that's where self-awareness comes into play. knowing your limits, knowing what you can stand, even on the job, like we keep saying, know your limits. There are some things that you know you cannot do. You can seek for help rather than pushing yourself. And that's where so many persons burn out, because they already know that they cannot handle this situation. But then for one or two reasons, they are not able to seek for help. So they keep pushing themselves until they burn out. So I really admire your courage for knowing that this particular one, when it comes to children's bodies, I know that I'm emotionally not fit for that. So I move away and allow someone to step in. That's courage on its own. Thank you for that. Now, in Nigeria, most especially, people find your kind of job very weird and strange. Yes. Tell us on a daily what you do when you get to the office. Okay.
Daily, what I do, because it's a daily routine when you see bodies almost every day.
My God.
The first thing you do is to comfort the person, the family. And secondly, you do embalming, you retouch the body, store these bodies, and as long as those bodies are there, you keep on going there to check on them if they are okay or not, because this body need to be presented to the family as they came.
Yes.
So you have to do your best. So the last thing is, once the family comes, prepared for burial, prepare this body, dress them, put it in the casket, then present to them for final burial. Those are the activities.
There's a lot to take. It's a lot to take, and I once said again, I really want to salute your courage, because so many of us have lost loved ones, and the most painful part of it is if you cannot get the corpse properly prepared for you to say your final goodbye. And this is getting me so teary, so emotional, because I have lost loved ones, and there were moments where even when the body of my dad was brought, for final goodbye, I truly couldn't look very well. But I noticed he was dressed. And I actually said, whoever did this, God bless you. I didn't know that some days I'm going to be sitting with a mortician right beside me, having this conversation. So God bless you for the work you do for humanity, for the work you do for people who are bereaved and really want to say goodbye to their loved ones in a special way. Because if the corpse is not being well, preserved, it leaves another trauma that you really have to deal with it. So thank you for that. And I want to ask you this question. Is there any risks involved with your job? Any work hazard? And have you ever worked on a family member's body or a close friend? And if yes, how was your state of mind at that point?
Okay. There are several risks involved, several work hazards. Like the formalin itself is a very hot chemical.
Okay.
Right, that can burn. So if not kept properly handled, so you need to be careful with that. Then also, we are the receiving end. Those who died, that the causes of death, and the one you don't know. So all you just need to be careful so that you don't get yourself involved in some things you don't know about. Then also, working on a family member is a very, 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 very emotional thing, because I've done with one, so it wasn't easy.
Oh my God!
While crying, trying to fix up chemicals, and it wasn't easy, but I had to do it.
Wow!
So it's not always to.
Thank you. So I believe you have enough work gears, enough protective
PPPs,
for your safety, right? Because your safety comes first.
Yes.
You have to put your first before any other person. Wow, thank you so very much. You guys do a lot. It's not just mentally draining, it's not just emotionally draining, but also you're putting your life
In danger too.
Yes, in danger. You're putting your life in the front line. Thank you so much for that. All right, so back to you, our able, strong guest. I want to ask you this question. Why do you think a lot of people are scared of morticians? Because I've heard some speculations and superstitious beliefs about morticians beating ghosts, you know, and then strange movements in the morgue, and then mortician doing so one or two. Tell us something about that. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I quite understand. You know, sometimes people want to make people see them as one superhuman beings. No, most of all these things are not true.
They are not
Sometimes
true.
you hear stories that you must knock and use your bag to enter inside the
Yes.
morgue. Sometimes they say, some cops went to somewhere to drink and they brought the bottles, you know, stuff like that. Some will even tell you, we are hitting the door so that most of them should go back and sleep, so that we can be able to come in and work. All those things are not true. It's just that they want people to see them like, these people are strong men. You know, they have extra powers. Those things are not true.
They are not true.
It's not true.
So as you are right now, you're a full human being with blood.
Yes.
There's nothing artificial about. Can I touch you?
Yeah, you can. You can.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Okay.
You can. So.
Because people are scared of morticians. They see you as some sort of, I don't know.
It's nothing like
because of the job you do.
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that. God bless you. I truly appreciate this.
No.
So we are coming to the last question, and it's a heavy one. I'm getting really emotional. So what best way do you think morticians can be supported? How do we break this stigma?
One, they should see a mortician like any other person.
Okay.
And two, most times when they handle your job, you should encourage them by telling them thank you, you're doing well, do more. All those emotional support keeps them and makes them going to do these jobs. And sometimes, like what I used to tell people, sometimes you can appreciate them by giving them stipend. Please use this to manage. All those things helps them to do their work effectively. So with that, a mortician can be more stable.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's a heavy one. It's a heavy pill to swallow. It's a heavy conversation. And I'm glad that we're having this, because some persons believe that death is the end for all mortals. Yes. And we will not all die at once. Somebody said we need to be there to bury each other. So the job has to be done by someone. And we are coming to the end of this conversation. What would you like to tell our viewers who are listening, and to your fellow morticians who are carrying the weight of stigma, who don't really know how to openly come out and say, this is what I do? Because as long as you're not stealing, as long as it's a legitimate work and it feeds your family, you should be proud of it.
Yes.
You should be proud of it. But there are persons who call it night work, who give it different sort of coded names because of the stigma they receive. And there are persons, like I said again, there are persons who will like, oh, he's a mortician, and they will just, they will want to isolate you. It's like you're smelling. Because it looks scary, it looks as if it's a dark, So I just wanted to use this few moments, talk to our viewers out there, and also talk to your fellow morticians. Tell them something.
Okay. To my viewers out there, see the mortician like people, somebody like you. All right. Don't look at them extraordinary. Don't look at them as if they have something behind the scene they're doing that is not good. It's a normal thing. It's a professional job. And also to the mortician, be yourself. Sometimes when I tell somebody I'm a mortician, somebody will say, you are not serious. You're not a mortician. I say I'm a mortician because I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm proud of it. Be proud of your job. These are things that keep you going, and it makes you, they know you, right? Because like my lecturer, professor, there's nobody that does not know him as a mortician. But he's a professor, he lectures. So any jobs that come in, we remember there's somebody like this. Be yourself and let people know what you do. That's just the little I can say.
A beautiful final take note from you, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And to our listeners and the society at large, I believe it's time to stop the stigma, and I also want to thank you for opening our eyes to see the other side of life and death. Your work is an important one because you care for the dead, and you deserve care as well while you're living. Thank you so much, guys, for listening, and we have come to the end of this conversation. See you next time. God bless you. I love you.